I feel you should know, in theory, by the time you're 30. First up is your toothbrush, okay? It doesn't really matter what kind of toothbrush you have. What you should, in fact, know is that they all have an expiration date. So I wanted to take a quick moment and share with you guys. So for example, I bought this recently, and it actually says right here, I know you can't read that, but I'm just pointing it out that it is in fact on the back of this Colgate toothbrush, that you should, it's recommended by dental hygienists to throw this out after 3 months of use. A lot of people don't know that your toothbrush is not meant for you to use for a year and 2 years at a time, which sounds pretty nasty, but actually there's a lot of people that don't know that. And while we're on the same topic of brushing your teeth and expiring toothbrushes because of growing bacteria and so forth, people, you should be rinsing out your sink instead of leaving your spit out toothpaste and whatnot all over the inside of your sink. What you don't realize is that is congealed bacteria just festering and breeding like rabbits in your sink. So do everybody in your household a favor, including yourself, and rinse out your sink after each time you spit out from brushing your teeth. All right, I cannot tell you how many times I've been to people's houses and I see that in their sinks and it's like, I thought everyone knew this, but apparently they don't. The next thing that you should be aware of is fire extinguishers. Now mine is incredibly dusty because I forgot I even owned one. And then I forgot why. I remembered and I was like, oh, I probably should check that. So in case you did not know, by the time you were 30, every fire extinguisher actually does have an expiration date. It's usually about every 10 years. And what's really kind of nifty is some fire extinguishers, especially newer ones, they have this really cool gauge that actually tells you when you need to replace it or recharge it. So in my case, mine is still ready to use because the little yellow needle is still in the green, which means it's good to go in case of emergency. But this gauge will actually tell me if there is a leak in it or it needs to be recharged, and then I can actually take it to a recharge center. So that is something that a lot of people don't know. I actually didn't even know this, and I am over the age of 30. So I thought that one was pretty cool. Another one that you should actually know about is, and this seems like common sense, but it's really not talked about a whole lot. So this is also something you should know before you are 30, especially with all of us being on our cell phones, our tablets, our computers, our smartwatches, and everything else. Everything in your app store is not created equal. What does that mean? Basically, scammers have just as much access to the app stores as you do. And so some apps are actually not safe at all. According to a recent article, the company Meta, which you would know for Facebook, they encountered over 400 different apps in the app store that were actually identified as trying to steal Facebook data of users who downloaded those particular apps. Some of those apps were concerning categories like your photo editor apps, your business apps that offer some sort of particular services. The flashlight app was a big one. I didn't even know there was a flashlight app because like you literally have a flashlight on your cell phone, but whatever. There were some free VPNs that were doing this, as well as some fitness logger apps and some horoscope apps. Now, this doesn't mean that all of them are bad. There are very many good ones. I am a big fan of ExpressVPN. It is a paid service, but I absolutely love it. And there's also a lot of really good business ones, like Robinhood is really cool for investing. When you download and sign up for Robinhood, you get $5 free to invest in whatever stock you want. So there are some really good apps in there, but definitely Google and research stuff before you download them onto your phone, because they are not only data mining, they are stealing precious data of yours that leads to things like your bank accounts, your banking apps like Venmo and PayPal, which then are most of the time linked to your bank, and all these other things. And they are hacking people through the back end. So those are all things that you should know before you are 30.